Hi there, everybody. It's Wendy, and it's Tuesday, so it's Tuesday Talks with Wendy. I'm so glad that you're here today. We are, first of all, happy March. Oh my goodness, it's so March out there right now. I think March is probably one of my most favorite months, only just because we end up really looking forward to getting rid of the snow, and spring is coming, and it's just so beautiful. The sun is finally reaching our part of the world, and it's very warm. And I don't know, it's just something about March that I just love. Anyways, it is March now. It's March the 3rd, and we are where we are in Northern Ontario right now. It is so warm. We are looking at some really nice weather over the next couple of weeks, which is so wonderful. And here I am talking about weather, which I get so annoyed with because my husband is always talking about weather. So I'm not going to talk about the weather, but I wanted to know how you guys are doing. How are things happening now that we are in March? We've got through January and February, and here we are starting to ramp up, starting to really think about spring, starting to really need a vacation for a lot of us. Some of us are, going to be heading out of the country in the next couple of weeks, going to destinations with blue water and white beaches and just enjoying all of that. Or you could be just like me, who's probably going to be heading to a frozen lake someplace to sit on the ice and watch everybody else around me do some fishing, which is also fun too. I mean, that sun this time of year, and here I am still talking about weather. My goodness. Anyways, happy March. If you guys have been following along, you may have noticed there's a bit of a theme going on with the things that I've been offering and talking to you guys about. Excuse me for a second. And I mean, I've really been trying to, and actually, there's a lot of people that are interested in this, talking about really emotional eating. And because this happens to be one of the big things that is an underlying theme to a lot of issues that people have with food. It's that relationship with food that we have that is sometimes not a great relationship. It's more like a love-hate relationship. We don't really we kind of use food as a crutch. We use food as a ways to look for love. We use food for many different reasons other than just to nourish our bodies. And I'm finding with a lot of my clients, this happens to be a theme that is like underlying a lot of issues that it seemed to be going on with regards to weight and healthy eating and different things like this. So I really just want to continue that theme a little bit into this month because we are ramping up to, um, bringing in some programs in the next little while, but I'm not going to talk about that so much as I'm going to, try to dive into the emotional eating aspect. So like today, we're just going to go quickly through a little bit of some facts with regards to emotional eating, because I don't want to, bore you guys to death with all these different things over and over and over again. Um, and I mean, if the truth be known, I am an emotional eater, and I have been for a long time. Has been, it is and has been a crutch of mine, and something that I struggle just like with everybody else. This is something that is, something that I really do understand and have worked on for many years with regards to that myself. Just as a side note, uh, oh my goodness, now that I think about it, 9 years ago when I got married, before I got married, even before I got engaged, I was going to the gym regularly, and I was working out with a girlfriend. We were going 3 or 4 times a week. And I was really getting to a place in my life where I was really uh, very happy with my weight. And although I was, I've never been a skinny mini kind of girl, but I was very happy with my weight. I was getting some definition in my shoulders and my arms from lifting weights. I was strong in my legs. My endurance was up, and we were doing like hit exercises, high intensity interval training, as well as cardio and weightlifting and all these different things. And then And I love the fact that this happened, but then I got engaged. And then all that went out the window because I was stressing so much with regards to planning a wedding, making sure things are going on right. You know, my husband to be at the time was switching jobs. There was so much stress going on. So eventually it came to a point where I got out of the routine of going to the gym, and it was, my gym partner that I was going with, who was so fantastic with helping me. We worked together quite nicely, and she moved, so I didn't have that connection anymore, or that motivation to go with somebody. So that was all happening. And then a month after I got married, my little puppy died. uh, he was he was 13 years old, I believe, at the time, and it was a pretty traumatic death, which hit me really, really hard. And then I think a week or two after that, I found a lump in my breast. So, needless to say, there was a lot of stress in 2011. There was like so much stress that, I mean, even if I was to show you pictures of from the wedding, I've got this beautiful dress on, but I've got this rash that came on my skin that was just that day, and it was very evident that this was from the stress. But what did I do? I dove into food. Because my husband had switched jobs, he was out of the town a lot. So even though we had just got married, he was gone a lot of the time. My kids were young adults, so they were gone doing their thing. So I was at home without my puppy, found a lump in my breast. What do you do to comfort yourself when nobody else is around? Well, you eat. And I ate, and I ate, and I ate, and I ate. And suffice it to say, I mean, it was, the lump was good. There was no issues there. But I mean, they give you a 6-month period of time where you're waiting and stressing. So I ate, and I ate, and I ate. Okay, so that went on, and that went on. So years down the road, working as a nurse or whatever, the stress that was going on from, um, work environment, as well as many other things that were coming up in my life with regards to past relationships, past my ex-husband. A lot of different stressors came up in my life as well too at that point. So what did I do? I ate again, and I continued eating, and I continued eating. And that has left me in the place where I am today. But not exactly, because I've also put the work in now, and I totally understand the whole idea of emotional eating, how I got to be a little bit more overweight than I am at this point, than I should be. And I mean, essentially, we try to eat our feelings. Stress being one of the big ones is one of the, you know, as well as taking in foods that probably are not the best for you, stress in itself can really cause a lot of weight gain as well. Um, and stress tends to be the underlying issue with a lot of, our emotional eating, problems. And then, of course, you've got lack of self-worth, lack of self-confidence, and all these different, perhaps even going in towards a depression situation, and all these situations that are very much hard to deal with on our own, and we don't know how to deal with them on our own. um, that stigma of mental health is still there, unfortunately, and so many of us, especially in my age group, the younger generations are dealing with it a lot better than I think a lot of the older generations are. And throw some menopause on top of that as well. So my estrogen levels are not allowing me to metabolize, my food properly, and it's just a wonderful soup of mixture of things that are just causing a lot of issues. And this is something that happens to a lot of people. I mean, I'm not special by any means in this situation. And this is why I offer this information to a lot of people. So emotional eating is actually, a response to stress. um, depression perhaps, and feelings that we just don't want to acknowledge or deal with, and we reach for foods that are high carb, high calorie foods, and really low nutritional value, because we just want that comfort. We want that serotonin release, that boost that we get from sugar and high fat foods and high carb foods, to give us that wonderful feeling of love, I guess, that comfort, that feeling of that good feeling that we get from really wonderful foods. Unfortunately, that has because it has low nutritional value, it is really something that is very bad for the body. Um, there is a bit of a difference between binge eating and emotional eating. So binge eating is something that is very much uncontrollable, and it's the quantity of food as well is something that you really want to look at when you are trying to decipher between emotional eating and binge eating. So binge eating is large quantities of food when you're not hungry, and you just can't stop, basically. Um, And like I said, emotional eating, I'm just kind of going through some facts here. And I'm trying to think that emotional eating has a lot of underlying causes as well. So, I mean, I can say stress and low self esteem and perhaps a depression, but there's always going to be very personal reasons underlying all of that too. And you really want to perhaps take a look and be that witness to what's going on around you. One of the ways that I was able to heal myself with the emotional eating is just become very, very aware of what's going on and actually feeling the feelings that you're having as opposed to trying to get away from them. This is one of the big, big things of um, uh, with emotional eating. I mean, even going towards a therapist and dealing with those feelings as opposed to eating them. We haven't been told how to deal with a lot of our feelings. We've been told, and I may have mentioned this many times to you before, but I mean, as a child, I was told that children are seen and not heard. I wasn't allowed to express any kind of feelings, and when I did, I was told that that was a bad thing. So it's really a matter of um, really understanding that it's okay to feel feelings that you have, the stress, the overwhelm, and potentially some anxiety, or and when it's verging into like anxiety and depression and these things, you really want to, like I said, go see a therapist, because I mean, I went to see a therapist and it was made the total world difference with regards to my vision of what was going on, or my understanding of what was going on. So you really want to get a better understanding and be validated for being able to feel the feelings that you want to feel. Like I said, sometimes we're not allowed to feel the feelings that we need to feel to be able to heal from them, and it's very, very important that you allow yourself to feel. um, Close the door, allow yourself to release, either through crying or yelling or screaming, or um, whatever it is that you need, however you need to release, journaling, punching a pillow. These are all wonderful ways of releasing whatever feelings that you have tied up inside that need to come out. Because when you start eating or feeling that you can't express those feelings, they become inside, and they eat away at you. And because they want to come out, we eat to smother them, to get rid of them, to quieten them down. It's like a little growly monster inside of us that wants to come out and wants to be heard, and quite annoying and irritating, but this at the same time you want to be able to soften it and quieten it and not deal with it right now, and then you eat to feel better, and it helps in the moment. But then you are 10 years later and you've gained 40-50 pounds, and this is, a situation that you really have to start dealing with. When you just put it off to the side and just say, oh, it's just emotional eating, well, no, it's just not emotional eating. There's reasons behind it. it might sound like something that's very common or very typical or kind of off the cuff kind of situation, but it can be quite serious. I mean, if you get to a point where you're emotional eating all the time, you can have some very devastating effects happen to your health. You become insulin resistant. You can, develop diabetes. You can develop heart conditions. Um, uh, and the list is endless depending upon what kind of foods that you are eating. Plus, you're going to have the added mental um, issues to around that as well. So you really want to be able to deal with the mental issues so you can start dealing with the physical ones that may be manifesting through the fact that you've gone years and years and years of emotional eating. Um, it, I mean, we can sit here and we can blame our hormones. We can blame outside people. We can blame our work environment. We can blame our spouses. We can blame our kids. We can blame whatever else is going on around us. But, and just like I was saying earlier, my dog died. I found a lump. I got married. These are all, I'm blaming things on the outside. But the same thing is, there was a lot of stuff going on inside that obviously just was kind of boiled to the surface because of all these other things that were going on around me. So you have to really, start to do the work, put the work in, understand and feel the feelings from a witness perspective, release them in any way that you know how without hurting anybody else. Um, and see a therapist, do the talking, get into emotional eating groups, find a counselor, reach out to somebody that's qualified to work with you in a situation like this. Look towards a dietitian like myself to see what other issues and options are for you with regards to, you don't know what foods to look towards. You don't know what other things that you can do. You don't know. So this is why you have to reach out, because we can't do things on our own. We can't always be by ourselves. This is one of the big things that I've learned over the years, because I am very much by myself. I don't bother other people with my issues. I don't talk to other people about my problems. I don't. That's just me. I'm the one that helps other people. But it's something that we all have to understand, that we're not alone. And that's kind of my big message for today, is that understanding that you are not alone. Um, there are options out there for you, and you have to, in order to survive, in order to thrive, and be in the place that you want to be, you have to reach out for help, because up until now, it hasn't been working what you're doing, whatever it is that you're doing. Up until now, you've been emotional eating. You've been grabbing that box of cookies because you feel alone on a Friday night. You are, diving into a tub of ice cream because somebody hurt your feelings. You are, diving and staying under the covers as opposed to going outside and getting some fresh air and moving the body mindfully. You are doing everything against what is really good for you, and it's not working. And I know you have dreams of, you know, losing 30 pounds. I know you have dreams of fitting into a wonderful summer's dress. I know you have dreams of, looking fabulous at those upcoming weddings that are coming up this summer. I know you have dreams of, getting into a bathing suit at your next vacation. I know you have these feelings. I know you have these desires. But the thing is, if you're not willing to put the work in, it's not going to change. These, you know, um, what do they say? Dreams, um, goals are nothing but dreams unless you put action towards them. So this is something that you really have to start putting some action towards, and understanding that it might feel really good in the moment to eat a tub of ice cream. Even if it's vegan ice cream, it doesn't matter. it's the sugar, it's the mentality, it's the reasoning behind it, that is really the big issue at this point. And getting and understanding that and working on that will really help you realize the dreams that you want to, of, buying a beautiful dress off the internet and going to the wedding and looking fabulous. And even if you're not even at your regular or your goal weight at that point, you're going to have a better understanding of who you are. You're going to have a better love of yourself because you are treating yourself with kindness and a better nourishing, nourishing uh, environment within your whole psyche that is going to be so much better. You're going to be loving yourself. You're going to have more confidence. You're going to have more self-worth. You're going to feel so amazing in your skin at any size. And it's not going to be an issue for you. You're not going to want to jump on the scales every 5 minutes or you're not going to stress about having a peanut butter sandwich that is full of gluten. You're going to, it's something that really is very important to understand, that these emotional issues are going to be something that, um, I call it the missing link. And when I have my new programs out now, I believe that it's more than just emotional eating, but emotional eating is part of it. But this whole mentality, this diet mentality that a lot of us live in, this social media projects this image of who and what we should be and what we should look like. These are all things that need to be worked on for a program to work. It's more than just about the food. It's more than just about getting your ass off the couch and going for a walk. It's a combination of everything. And this is why I've been really stressing a lot with regards to emotional eating, intentional eating, mindful eating, and all these components that are so very important and so very missed with a lot of programs, and have left you with still in the same spot that you were 20 years ago, still 30 pounds overweight, still feeling really crappy, still not being able to handle stress properly. Your blood sugars perhaps are starting to get a little wonky. You're starting to get a little bit of insulin resistance. These are all things that are potentially happening as a result of years and years of not feeling that great and using food as a crutch and using food as a way to make you feel better. Whereas we should be looking inside and loving ourselves and looking in our mirrors and saying, hell, you look good today, woman. And all these other things that, see, up on my board, it says, you are beautiful. It's my constant reminder. And, all these things that are so much more important than counting calories, so much more important than jumping on the scale every 5 minutes and worrying about that carrot muffin that's going to sit on your arse end because you had it when you weren't supposed to, or stressing about stressing about things that in the big picture don't make that much difference. It all has to stem from the inside. And like I said, with my new You Breaking the Vicious Cycle program, this is where a lot of the work is with regards to. Yes, we still have to look at the menu and understand different foods and understand how they affect your body. Oh my goodness. And looking towards uh, um, eating whole foods and getting away from processed foods. And we also have to look at some joyful movement. And I'm not saying going to the gym 6 days a week. I'm saying things that make your heart smile, things that you like doing, going for a walk, one of the easiest, most effective ways of being able to get metabolism going, and understanding the metabolism and understanding how the foods interact with your metabolism and all these things. But that missing link, it's that missing link. It's the secret sauce to reaching and sustaining those goals for a lifetime. And that is looking at and doing the work with regards to how you feel about food and how that food relates back to you. So I'm going to cut it off there because, like I said, I really wanted to try to make these a lot shorter. So I think I've already gone about 20 minutes. But yeah, if you have any questions with regards to that, let me know. I kind of divulged a lot of secrets there today. I don't know how I feel about it, but it is what it is. And I am nothing if not authentic. Been there, been walking in your shoes, walking right beside you with regards to all of this stuff. The only thing is I have a few more answers perhaps than you do, and I have the desire to offer those answers to you. So connect with me if you're interested. I'm going to be starting up a new U program offline out in Valcaron. That's my big news for this week. At Metamorphosis it's the yoga studio in Valcaron. Valcaron, Ontario. And it's going to be starting up March 22nd, and it's going to run for 6 weeks. I believe one of those weeks is Easter, so we're not going to be doing that. So it's going to be 5 weeks, but it's over a 6 weeks period. And that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be talking food. We're going to be talking movement. We're going to be talking mindset. We're going to be talking emotions, feelings, all those goody things inside that have really put a blockage up with regards to getting to where you want to be. Okay, so connect with me if you want to know more about that. If you're not able or you're not in this area, don't fret, because I have another one starting up in Haileybury the end of April, and then I'm going to have another one coming online, I believe, in May, just after May 24. So May 24. That's Canadian talk. It's for all my American friends. May 24. May long weekend is Victoria Day long weekend in Canada, which is not even actually on a 2/4. It's not even on the 24th. I'm just look at my calendar here for a second. May long weekend actually is May 18th. So it actually would be after that. It would be May 25th, which is Memorial Day in the States. So that's that. So anyways, I will see you over the next couple of days. I'm going to start doing some lives over the next couple of days. I'm going on a bit of an adventure over the Women's Day weekend. I'm going up to Haileybury for a conference, a Women's Days conference, Women Inspiring Women Living in Intention. So I'm going to be doing a lot of little lives and talk about stuff like that, and empowering women. Woo! I love it. I love Women's Day. It's kind of one of my favorite. It's not even a holiday, but it's just one of those days that I can really, yeah. Anyways, bit of a feminist, new age kind of feminist. Anyways, love you guys. Take care. Connect with me if you want more information about the program, and I will give you all the details.